Hi and welcome to Dewdrops. My name is Beth. Well, this is going to be a jam-packed video. First, we are going to go over really quick how we do the inserts, the glow inserts. We have the glow powder or the glow-in-the-dark powder that we mix in, and you're going to want to make it a pretty thick paste. Really thick. And you can color it whatever colors you want. I'm using the chrome purple from Resin. I just thought it would look pretty in there, and I'm adding all kinds of glitters and nail powder glitters and just, everything will be listed. But it's all in what you want it to look like. And it's really important that it is very, very thick. Not so thick that it won't cure, but thick enough to where it will pretty much stand on its own. And you will need it that thick. So we're going to watch the rest of this, and then this is going to get put aside. And after this is put aside, we are going to start working on the base of this piece. So here we are. We're just going to be pouring resin in. And I want this clear. So I'm using a heat gun for the first layer. And it will thin it out, especially because I like to use the high viscosity resin. So we're going to add more resin to it in just a minute. But as you saw, I had that cellophane paper, the kind that crinkles really loud. You just squish it all up in your hand. You can get it on packages and stuff. I have tons of it from things that I've ordered. So you're going to fill up your mold, and fill it up. It's got to be not overflowing, but pretty domed. And then you're going to lay your cellophane on top of your resin. I have been doing this a long time, so I like to dig into my resin as I do it. But as a beginner, you may just want to lay it over the top, and you will get a great texture from it. And you're going to want to cure it. There's going to be a lot of resin around. It's going to ooze out everywhere. But I'm telling you, this is the best way to do it. I know it's a mess, but it comes off very easy. So you just pull the cellophane off, and it leaves this texture in there. And that's where we're going to be depositing our color. I pull it out to get all the edges off, and then I put it back in. So what I'm doing here is I take 99% alcohol and I add it to my pigments. Here are all Let's Resin except for one. The orange is the only one that's not the Let's Resin. But everything else is either a chrome powder or a chameleon powder. And I just add alcohol to where the color is solid enough when I pick it up on my brush that when it drips off, it gives a good color splotch. It's the only way I can describe it. So as you see here is what I'm doing with the orange. I wanted to use this color because it was very vivid. You can really see how I just drop paint on there. The alcohol will evaporate so quickly. So quickly. Now, I did use a lot of gold, and it did have a little bit of a tendency to take over, but it still worked out beautifully. I still got a lot of my pinks and my greens and my blues all mixed in there. It really did turn out nice. I use a lot of teal, and I use a lot of the magenta. It's a lot of fun doing this, and it's messy. I get paint everywhere. there was so much paint on my hand after I did this that I had to stop recording and go wash as much as I could get off of it. I got some off, but it's still all over my nails. Anyway, I digressed again. We are going to finish watching this part of the process here. What you're going to see me doing next is I'm going to be taking, one of those little, you can use a baby one too, the little squeeze things that, the suction things that you use for babies. You can use one of those if you have one of those, or you can get the ones that you can use for pushing your paint around. And that's what this does. And I'll be putting it in the information. And once I get all my colors in there, it looks like there's a lot of liquid, and there is, but it's all alcohol. And as I'm pushing colors around, things are starting to settle and create patterns, and the alcohol is evaporating, and then it takes about 15 minutes for it to be completely dry. Then once it's completely dry, we will be putting a coat of resin on it. And wait till you see this pattern now that it's dry. Oh my goodness. It is just absolutely gorgeous. And it's very interesting. The other side is going to show much difference in the colors because of the laydown. So I'm covering it, and when you're covering it with resin, this is the first layer of resin after you've put all these pigments down. They will move very, very easy. So you have to be very gentle. If you're going to be moving your resin, do it very gently, and float your resin is the best thing I can tell you. And now, and I know we're jumping from one thing to another, but this actually came to being as I started working on this piece. I had done another piece that I was asked about doing a video, and so I decided to create something right in front of you guys. And this is what I created. There is a lot of detail that I did to this that you won't necessarily have to do, but it's a lot of fun if you like doing this kind of stuff. I like working on little things. So I am going to be securing all those little bezels. I will have all the links to everything that I use so that you can get your bezels. The only thing is that little half honeycomb, I guess you'd want to call it, shape. Those I did not share how I did them. In my Aurora video, it shows how I make those. There was so much to share in this video. I just didn't have time to put everything in it. So what I'm doing now is I am putting that mixture that we made in the very beginning into those little bezels on the piece itself. And then I'm going to be curing them. And they have the glow-in-the-dark powder in it, that glow powder that I love. Now, one of the reasons why I really enjoy the glow powder is because you can really pack it and have so much control of your resin with it. It's very grainy, and it helps for some reason to cause your resin to cure better. Maybe because of the way the light reflects in it. Don't know. All I do know is that once I get this aspect of it done, I actually paint it with a chrome color from Let's Resin and a little bit of UV resin and cured it on. And it turned out absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to let you watch this part of the process, and I will be back when we get towards the end a little bit more. So I will see you in a few moments. Well, here we are again at the end, putting the last finishing touches on. Oh my gosh, this thing was so much fun to make. You have no idea how many coats of the chrome powder I put on there. It's just because I'm a perfectionist. It all has to be perfect. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. I sure did. I had a lot of fun. I know it was jam-packed, but it's a beautiful piece, and I hope you're able to enjoy doing it. I hope you are inspired. Please subscribe and like. Thanks. See you soon.